Welcome friends to another Dune video. Today we're going to look how the changes in leadership amongst the Imperium affect the sale of goods. We're going to look at a specific example, which is Pundi Rice from Caladan. It's a cereal indigenous to Caladan, the staple food of that planet, first brought to the planet Arrakis by House Atreides. Rice is a variety of annual grass, grown in areas where sufficient water is available to submerge the land. Rice is thrown by hand over the ground, and after 25 to 30 days, seedlings are transplanted to fields which are then submerged. The crop is harvested by hand. Now, since rice requires so much water, its only availability on Arrakis was an import. It was subsequently genetically engineered to shorten the growing period and to need less water. After the ecological transformation of Arrakis by Leto II, a new breed of Pundi rice became a staple of that planet. Over the course of the century during which this transformation took place, Pundi rice had taken on a significant position beyond that of food. As Muad'Dib's memory became sacred, the Fremen sought a way to properly commemorate the Kwisatz Haderach. Since rice was so scarce, it was chosen to symbolize the scarcity of the single most sought-after possession on the planet, water. Pundi rice was chosen not only because it had arrived on Arrakis with Paul Muad'Dib's House Atreides, but also because of its slightly teardrop shape. The Fremen believed the teardrop to represent the giving of water to the dead, a precious gift to those who cannot use it. Pundi rice came to symbolize the giving of water to the living, to celebrate the shortening of the way. The ceremony which evolved in which the shortening of the way came to refer to its shorter time needed to make Arrakis a temperate planet, was held annually because it took a year to collect enough rice to provide each siege member with the ritual mouthful. The ceremony itself singled out 4 people, traditionally those who had distinguished themselves in some way during the year. Under the guidance of the siege nabe, the 4 would each reach one mouthful of rice, placed before them in the centre of an enormous bowl. The size of the bowl, contrasting with the portion of rice, symbolised the enormity of the task yet ahead. The sayings, "May your bowl be full" and "My bowl is now full," are said to indicate the start and achievement of tremendous tasks, have their roots in the Pundi rice ceremony. The nabe and the 4 sat in the middle of a circle of all the siege members. The circle symbolised the equality of importance of each man, woman and child in the achievement of the task. The nabe would hold up his bowl of rice and say, "The water of our world is created by 4 things," to which the 4 participants would add in turn the learning of the wise, the justice of the great, the prayers of the good at heart, and the valour of the brave. The leadership would then continue, but all of these are as nothing. All of these are as a teardrop given to the dead, without the tear of all of us, given that we may live. Then, before any of the other 4 could touch the rice, the nabe served every member of the siege his bowl of tears, which were then eaten grain by grain slowly to symbolise the length of time the task would take. And that, friends, is where I will end today's video, and the coverage of how this food brought to Arrakis made a big change in the approach to the fermented food. Now, this is just a late added addendum to the video, so it may be that the industry of the production of the rice on Caladan would actually be hurt by the development of this powerful new strain on Arrakis, for 2 reasons. One, Arrakis is such a centre of power. Outside of even the Fremen, it may have taken on some greater significance to the people that live there and the people in the wider Imperium. And 2, this, if that is the case, would clearly have an impact back on what is sold on Caladan, which is largely the main centre for production for this export and is one of their main exports. So it's that change in leadership from Paul through to Leto that affects the industry of how this is produced on Caladan and exported to other places. Plus, throughout the reign of Paul in particular, there was the Fremen Jihad, which will have also impacted where this can be sold to, because most of those planets are going to be burning because the Fremen will have been there.